My name is Jen Peters, and last year my Undy 5000 team raised $3,263 and had 60-something team members. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in June 2009, and so she went through surgery and then had 6 months of chemotherapy to go through. So about a month into the entire process, we had to kind of set a goal line, and that just happened to be in March 2010. So we all really put our effort into rallying people behind the Undy 5000. It was a great way for everyone to show their support and for us to have something to focus on that was positive. You know, colon cancer isn't really something you want to talk about. It's, you know, people don't talk about it the way that they do breast cancer, for example. But I found that once I did start talking about it more, I found even more people that had been touched by colon cancer. And it just kind of lifted the veil off of the disease and, you know, made it a little easier to talk about. Our team name was Hope's Polar Bears. It's kind of a weird little joke with my mom and I are polar bears. Every time we see a polar bear, it's a long story. But it's no coincidence that polar bears are the most devoting moms in all of the animal kingdom. So that's kind of a nice little tie-in. And then also hope. I mean, hope is really all you have to get you through the day when you're faced with a colon cancer diagnosis. So once you got there and you saw all these people in our blue shirts, you know, sticking out like sore thumbs, it was just really exciting to see that everyone there was there for my mom. But otherwise, it was just such a great experience to see everyone there that had been touched by colon cancer. You know, with a disease like colon cancer, it is preventable if you get a colonoscopy early. Once we realized it was stage 4, to hear that, you know, those tumors had been in her for a really long time. And so then once you hear that, you're like, oh gosh, that's why you've been so tired lately, or oh, that's why you've sort of had some indigestion or whatever. It's just crazy to think about, you know, the stuff that, you know, could be going on in your body. It's kind of scary. This time last year, my mom had been diagnosed as being in complete remission. So last year was very much a celebratory, woohoo, we made it kind of event. A few months after that, she was having some pain in her side, and she found that the tumors in her liver had returned with a vengeance. So now she's back in weekly chemotherapy treatments. She's, you know, hanging in there. It's tough. It's not, you know, something anyone ever wants to go through, and you always hear just the awful things about chemotherapy, and it's all true. But you know, she's really looking forward to this year's event also, just because it's, you know, like I said, it's just the camaraderie and just seeing everyone come out, and you know, it's just a reason to keep going, and it's something to shoot for. I would definitely recommend getting involved, and it's one of those things where you don't have to raise a ton of money to feel like you're making a difference. Once you're there and you're part of this larger group, you really just, there's that sense of camaraderie that's so important, and I think that's so important when anyone is either going through chemotherapy or, you know, has recently been diagnosed or has even beat colon cancer. Just knowing that you're not alone, and so I think the Undy 5000 is huge in that regard.